So should you trust your head or your gut when it comes to whether you have a crush on somebody and whether that's okay?
Maybe a balance of both.
Maybe. Admit it, though. We all have crushes, even some of us that are married and maybe in serious relationships. It actually, probably there's somebody out there who catches your eye occasionally.
But is it okay? And if it is okay, should we talk openly about it? We talked with Josh Magallanes, a licensed mental health counselor, to get some answers. We are treading some very interesting ground this morning. So asking for a friend, is it okay to have a crush if you're married or in a committed relationship?
I want to say yes. You know, my inkling as a therapist, as a human being also, is to say yes. Because I think it's important that communication stay open between you and your partner. Right? When you're in a relationship, that's one of the most intimate things, is to be able to talk about risque topics or challenging topics, to really understand what's below the surface. And you never know what might come out of that. So,
are there rules? Like how, should I tell my significant other in advance, like, I might have a crush someday, we'll talk about it, or?
Yeah.
I mean, I think, and not to use the cliche, you know, bring it up when it's organic or let it come up organically, but yeah, when you're feeling like, yeah, there's this person in my office, or there's this person on TV. I mean, those are the ones that could never really happen, right? Which I think that's where you start to tread the water slightly, right? And you have to ask yourself, well, is this crush going to be detrimental to my relationship? Or is it just a crush? I mean, the person I date, right, we talk about that stuff all the time. You know, that guy, God, he's really hot. I think I've got a crush on him. Or, you know, this person, I've had a crush on him for years, you know, but they never give me the time of day. I think it's fun. And what it also does is it kind of elevates the sexy in relationship.
Interesting.
Right? I mean, oh, I never knew you had that crush. Wow, what is it about that person? And so rather than comparison and contrast, right, you kind of go into this idea of like, oh, wow, that is kind of hot.
I can already feel people watching this yelling at their TV, it's never okay, it's never okay.
Right.
And it might be because maybe everybody defines what crush is a little bit differently.
Right.
So I'm going to pose something, because I'm going to tell you what I think is crossing the line, because I want to know how close I am to being completely incorrect. Because to me, I think it's human nature, as everybody will feel attracted to different people.
Right.
And I think that there is a harmless flirtation that can come with just chatting with someone. But to me, when there's intent behind it, like you're chatting with them because you want it to go somewhere, for me, that is a line that I would never want crossed for anyone.
Right.
For you, what do you say? What do you tell your clients? Like, where is the line crossed?
Yeah. You know, when we start to go through the checklist about, okay, where is this leading to? And I think the way you brought it up, Casey, is really great, because if your intention is to one day meet out with that person, or you're finding yourself saying, hey, let's meet out for drinks, you're kind of throwing yourself into, you know, not a really good place. And so I tell clients, you know, be careful about that. What is the intention? And I think, you know, it's also important to acknowledge that when crushes do come up, because we are human, to kind of fill each other out and understand, well, what can I bring up? And when? Right? I mean, you don't want to be at the dinner table with people who you've invited over for a dinner party and then say, oh, yeah, I've had a crush on them for years. And you totally shock your partner. But be tactful about it, you know, and you know, it doesn't have to be a major conversation, but to talk about it in fun, and to, you know, to keep it light, but also if it is serious, you know, talk about it.
I think this is all very good advice, and I think makes a lot of people feel a little better about where they are, what the lines are, what the rules are.
We're not talking about falling madly in love with your neighbor and then going over and having alone coffee with that neighbor. That's not what we're talking about.
This is not an affair situation.
Surface level.
Yes.
Human crush.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Joshua Magallanes, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. Really good advice as always. JoshuaTherapy.com if you want more information.